Hey, good morning, everybody. I veered off course for my meal plan for Saturday. So, actually, it's Friday, but you'll see this on Saturday. So, anyway, I'm trying to use what's up in my freezer, and so I've got this chicken, and how much? It's not a lot of chicken. It's 1.25 pounds or less, 1.14 pounds. So I'm gonna put that along with some chicken broth into a pan, and I'm going to simmer it until it's done. Take it out, cut it into little chunks, and then I'm just gonna do kind of Thanksgiving-ish, but with chicken. and it's gonna be a casserole. So it'll have chicken that I had in the freezer. It's not enough for a whole meal, but when I add celery and onions, and these are walnuts, and these are dried cranberries, and I've got some mushrooms, I'll make something else along with it. I know I'm going to make orange fluff because that's a Thanksgiving kind of tradition, and I have the stuff to do it. Well, maybe I'll make another kind of fluff, not orange. Maybe I'll make cherry fluff. That would be good. Okay, we'll see what happens when I get there. So first of all, in goes the broth. Okay, so the the broth is boiling. It's on a low boil. I'm gonna drop in a whole stick of real butter, salted. And then I'm gonna let that completely melt, and then I'll drop in, I tried to separate the onions and the celery from the nuts and the cranberries. It won't matter, but I would do these for less time than I would do these, and these will go in absolutely last, the mushrooms. So anyway, when the butter is done melting, the chicken will go in. I chopped it up into little pieces. Got some celery on it. I seasoned with salt, pepper, and onion powder. The butter is melted in the chicken broth, and now I'll just add this. And then after I add this, I'll add this first. Hang on, it's going to be a bumpy ride. All right, so the onions and celery have been going a while, and I'm going to put in the chicken. I suspect this chicken will probably cook about 30 minutes-ish, pretty small pieces. I can see if they're done really easily. And then while that's going, I'll come over here. I used half a bag of that Pepperidge Farm seasoned breadcrumbs. It's white breadcrumbs, so not cornbread. And now I'm gonna mix in, just dump in the onions. Well, there's some onions, they're not supposed to be. The cranberries and the minced walnuts, and the mushrooms, the white mushrooms that I chopped up. So here's that. And now what I will do next is drop an egg into this, just a beaten egg, throw it in there, mix it up, and it'll make everything cohesive together. But I'm not going to put it in just yet. And some more butter. I just realized that I forgot an apple. I like to put an apple in, and so Granny Smith are my favorite to use with this. And I'll wait till last to chop this up so it doesn't brown too much. And my chicken is over there simmering away. All right, mixy all together. I think I showed you that. The chicken is done. I'm gonna let it cool down. I'm gonna remove all of the chicken and veggies out, put them in a separate bowl. When they cool down enough, I'm gonna add them to this, along with the chopped apples. I just minced the one apple. I'm allergic to apples, so if I don't touch my face, my eyes especially, my mouth, everything will be okay. Once they're cooked, I'm good. So same with peaches, cherries, pears, plums, all of those. I can't eat them raw. I can't even touch my face if I touch them raw, but I can eat them all cooked. Thank goodness. I forgot to say, here's the egg. I'm about to beat that up. I mixed everything up, the apples, the things that didn't need to be cooked, until I bake the whole dish. But anyway, I'm going to need a bigger boat, so I'm changing to a new bowl. Now, it'll all fit in that smaller bowl, but what I want to do is go down all the way to the bottom and flip it up as I mix it so there's no dry parts, and that requires a little more lip space here, I think. And these are quietly cooling down. Okay, I didn't think I'd probably have enough broth, but I'm thinking I will. I think this will be plenty. And if it's not, we'll deal with that when it happens. And I just put another half stick, so it's 1 1/4 sticks. It would be 3/4, wouldn't it? One. It would be one, because each stick is a half of cup. And then another half is 1/4. So it's 3/4 of a cup of butter that I use in my broth, because butter is love. I put some more pepper in there, from like cracked pepper. So there's that. Chopped chicken, celery, and onions have been added to the breadcrumbs and the vegetables and the apple. This is cool. I actually put a little bit of ice in it and it melted and cooled it down enough that I don't worry about it scrambling the egg that I'm going to add at the end to the stuffing mix. What I did was I took a coffee mug and I dumped that whole egg in the coffee mug with some of the broth so that I can, cool that down enough. And it is. And then I'm going to mix it, and then the rest will just be plain broth, unless I decide to add another egg. Yes, I did indeed have enough moisture. I used about half of this, so, it is what it is. I don't want to make enough for Thanksgiving. I just want to make enough for dinner tonight. It's not your mama's Thanksgiving. Okay, I got this casserole dish here. It's about that long. Sprayed it with Pam. That's just there. I used half the bag. And I'm gonna put this in here. Excuse that big bag of protein powder my child leaves on the counter every day. Ta-da! I am gonna dot this with more butter because not all of that butter got in there and it needs to be in there. I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm gonna dot it, just here and there, and I'm gonna foil cover it and stick it in the oven, 375-ish. It'll probably take 35, 40 minutes or less. You don't want it to dry out or it's just not any good. I'm going to make a side of green beans, just plain green beans, and that dessert. Because this has the bread, vegetables, fruit, and chicken, So it'll be okay. I'm telling myself, not you. About 3½ tablespoons, and I sliced them thin, you can see that, and put all over the top. And now I'm going to go ahead and cover it. I don't know if everybody is familiar with this. This used to be very hard to find in California. I know that because I lived there for a little while. But it's big. You can find it everywhere, like Texas, Oklahoma, Washington State. And maybe now, maybe back, it was in the 70s when I looked in California. Anyway, it's very easy to use. It's already seasoned. It's already dried. You can get it in cornbread. You can get it in this kind. And then there's another, cubes. I don't like the cubes as much as I like the looser kind. But everybody's different, And I would love to hear, when you make stuffing, if you make stuffing, how do you make yours? Do you make it meatless? Do you add the same veggies that I did? Do you add something different? I know some people put oysters. On the East Coast, I've heard that's a big deal. Oyster stuffing. And I've never had it, but I like oysters. So anyway, tell me about your stuffing. I've got this on here. I've got the oven. I forgot to preheat it. It's preheating now. And I will show you when I plate up the dishes. All right, here's my orange fluff. Some people call it a creamsicle salad. So I put just the rest of however many finely diced walnuts were in there. That's a small container of Cool Whip. You can use as much or little as you want. There's a small Jell-O. When I make this for actual Thanksgiving and I'm hosting everybody, I like quadruple this. So, And then it's got cottage cheese. If you don't like cottage cheese, look away. You won't be able to taste it. If you're still bothered by it, just omit it. It doesn't matter. It gives a little more protein along with the nuts to the salad. And I added, or will add, a can of crushed pineapple in water or in juice, and a can of expensive little oranges. So here we go. I almost made cherry. Hold on, let me get the rest of this out. I almost made cherry fluff, but that's not really a traditional Thanksgiving thing for us. So that's why I did that. Now you just mix this all together. If you need more not cream cheese, if you need more Cool Whip, you add more Cool Whip. If you need more of this, you add more of that, you know, like that. My mother, when I was a child, made this with the same ingredients, except she used fruit cocktail. Instead of diced pineapple and mandarin orange segments, she used fruit cocktail, and we thought the grapes in it were the best. And then when I got older, she started using fresh fruit, which was the bomb, because I wasn't yet allergic to fresh fruit, and I loved it. But it's almost completely mixed. And the last thing that I like to add, sometimes, not all the time, about a cup of mini marshmallows. My mother used mini marshmallows, and if you don't, maybe it's not the same that they used to be. But when I was a kid, mini marshmallows in color had a flavor to them, like cherry, lime, and I'm sure she thought it was a great idea when she tried it because they're fruit flavored and this is a fruit salad. But there was a revolt. There was Oh, she also used to put, oh, shoot, I cannot think of what it's called. Coconut flakes, like sweetened coconut flakes, but I never have. I don't have anything against it. I like it in other things. I just think this is plenty. I didn't say, but I meant to say that you want to put that directly in the refrigerator. Cover it, put a top on it, put some saran wrap over it. Don't put foil on it because it'll interact with the acid in the pineapple. Anyway, just put a plate over the top of it. I've done that too if I can't find a lid. But anyway, for about 30 minutes, you know, an hour and a half is better. I make it the night before on Thanksgiving, so it's fine. What will solidify and make this a stiffer, like fruit salad, will be the Jell-O mixed with the liquids in there. Oh, and drain that pineapple, because pineapple juice can make it sloppy. So I put mine in a colander with real tiny holes because it's crushed pineapple. And I shake it around and I, put it over a bowl and I let it continue. Let me show you. So I put my pineapple in this colander and it's too small the holes are too small for it to go through. And I first drained it over the sink and then I put it over this bowl, and look how much came out even after. So that's just my little tip. Okay, I'm gonna show you a plate when I take it out. I don't know how many, hold on. 12 minutes to dinner and a disaster in my sink. Oh dear. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thank you to Brenda for hosting Mix It Up in the Kitchen every Saturday. I look forward to seeing everybody else's videos that happen to do this one, and I know a lot of us do. And dinner was good, but I would knock off points because it wasn't colorful. You forget, when you have Thanksgiving, you've got that brown stuffing. You've got, other colors on your plate. You might have orange sweet potatoes, green beans, white mashed potatoes. It just livens the plate up, and it just looked kind of drab on a plate. But it was okay. It was good. Okay, hope you'll like, comment, subscribe, and maybe even share. Bye, everybody. See you Sunday.